Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a village with its own constitution, its own rulers, its own courts, and its own storytellers. The village was led by a chief and his deputies, who promised every child a fair chance to build their future. But one day, a storm swept through the village's educational system, turning the path that was meant to shape young lives into one filled with uncertainty. Questions spread across the village, and doubts grew louder. The young ones stepped forward. They did not ask for power. They did not ask for privilege. They asked only one thing. Will you listen to us? Will you give us justice? Their voices reached the great court of the village, the place meant to protect every citizen. But the doors of justice remained almost closed. The court keepers looked at their endless scrolls and said, "There are many other matters before us. We do not have enough time for this." Somewhere else in the village, they found time to discuss disputes over cattle farms and other concerns. But the worries of the young ones had to wait. The young ones stood outside the gates of justice, holding only their questions and their hope. The village had a constitution. It had rulers. It had courts. Yet the ones who needed them the most felt the farthest away from them. Meanwhile, those who enjoyed the comfort of the village called the protest meaningless. They said, "Why fight? Why question? Accept what has happened and move on." But the young ones refused to surrender, because they knew something the powerful had forgotten. A future cannot be built by silencing the voices of those who will inherit it. And the village continued its story. The rulers gave speeches. The storytellers chose their words. But stories are strange things. They never stay where they are told. This one traveled beyond the village, and soon young ones from every neighboring village arrived, carrying the same questions and the same hope. What began as a handful of voices became the voice of an entire generation. The village watched as the weight of those voices grew too heavy for the throne to bear. And then, for the first time, it was not the young ones who stepped back. It was the ruler. Because every storyteller knows one truth. A throne stands only as long as the people are willing to carry it.